Well, the good news is that I delivered the first Raspberry Pi, unit number 20, to an anonymous individual. It's up to them whether or not they want to disclose their identity, but I hand delivered it. It was unit number 20. I'm actually working backwards through the units, so one of the last ones to go out will be the unit 1. Unit 3, as you may remember, has a little crack at the bottom. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that one, but today I was lucky enough to find a supplier that was able to get me some more Raspberry Pis for Friday. So to all those of you who very kindly said that you didn't necessarily need yours before Christmas, thank you. I'm still planning, though, on getting them all out in time for Christmas. I leave the UK on Monday, so I'm under a lot of pressure now to get it. And at the moment, I don't have enough cameras and enough USB sticks, but there is, if you can see on the NSA webcam, right there you have a Raspberry Pi that is duplicating between 2 disks. So the blockchain is breeding, it's spawning. The more disks I make, the faster I'm able to duplicate it out. So yeah, it's going to be tight, because I also got an email today from the printers of the t-shirts that they are ready and they're being delivered tomorrow. So fingers crossed that they look good. And the printed one that I got made, I don't know, the light's not very good in my room. Yeah, but that's what it looks like. But except the ones, this is a digital print one, but the ones that I've ordered are screen printed. So they should be a bit more durable. They look a bit nicer. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. A bit nervous because I had to get quite a lot made to bring the cost down. So there's a lot to get done, a lot to get shipped by Monday. Although it doesn't look like I've still got a lot of devices to get through here. But I'm going to try. I don't know if I have to do an all-nighter tonight. Let's see how it goes. If this DD command is working out and I can just do it on the little Raspberry Pis, I can just set a whole bunch going and then just jump into bed. And I have to be up very early for an appointment, a medical appointment to do with my neurological problem. And I have to be quite a distance from where I am now, early in the morning. So either I'm going to just stay up all night and just do this and not bother going to sleep at all, or I'm going to just set things up and running, and if I'm happy that they're going to be done and that there aren't going to be any errors when I wake up, then I might just set an alarm. So let's see how it goes. I'll revert back to NSA cam. And continue the spawning process. In case you're wondering what the mess is on the bed, that's it's actually wrapping paper. Yes, I've been wrapping a lot of these up in Christmas. Wrapped 2 up in Christmas paper wrapping. I don't know, I thought it'd be quite nice. It's a blockchain for Christmas. Blockchains aren't just for Christmas, blockchains are for life. And I did have to explain to the person that I was giving it to, because they're not very technically savvy, quite what this device is, what it does. And I think when you explain Bitcoin to a non-technical person, and when you explain it in a way that's like it's organic and it's like this thing that has this auto-poetic quality, they sort of say to you, oh, okay, so it's sort of like I'm doing my citizen's duty, by running this full node and relaying transactions across the network. I'm kind of being a good Bitcoin citizen. It's almost like I'm turning up to perform my civil duty. And if all they have to do is just basically plug it in, it works out of the box, as I say. You just plug it in and it will connect via Tor as standard, and it will start relaying block data. I've left a few on. I left one going, unit number 17. It's currently hard at work, not only doing the DD, but also syncing the blockchain. I might have to quit the Bitcoin daemon to speed that up. Let's see how we get on. And it's working just fine. These things can be left on for weeks at a time. Occasionally they do crash, particularly when we've had high volumes of transaction data when we're having the stress testing. I did notice the Raspberry Pi did fall over, but that was mostly with the Qt client open. So if you just run it in headless mode, which is what it is as standard, then you should be absolutely fine. I don't think you're going to find it crashes all that much. And if it does, I have found that just simply pulling the power out and plugging it back in again is good enough. I've done it so many times. I haven't had any corruption issues as yet. If there will be any corruption issues, I'm going to make the ISOs of the blockchain available on the internet, available say on like BitTorrent or something, so people can just download that, and then you can just flash your memory stick again, and away you go. You're back up and running. So there shouldn't be any problems.
Hello. Do you hear me? I don't hear you, but I see you, but I cannot hear you. Remember, you're muted. You've muted yourself. Ah, now you're unmuted, I think.
Yeah. Oh, hi guys. I
Hey,
didn't know
what's
you
up?
were in here.
Oh, it's just me. It's
Oh,
just the
hello.
voice of God. That's well, Theo actually means God, so it's kind of true.
Yes,
Just
that's true. It
checking.
does. Yeah.
No. Okay, cool. No, I just thought I'd try. I was talking to Thomas, and actually okay, someone. Okay, I think it's Thomas in here too, or someone. Um, actually, I record. Luckily, I'm glad it worked because I recorded a show, while you were doing your thing, but I didn't realize it.
I
Because
didn't realize it. I didn't know that that was what was happening.
did
I
something
think you could
happen on your
you,
show?
you could do two at the same time though.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure. Okay, great. Yeah, because I was getting ready to do it, and then someone actually. So I heard there's not a lot of ads for this, but actually I did find out about it in Telegram. Someone was posting it around,
Hmm.
so it is somewhat promoted. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I haven't been putting these on Twitter just because I just wanted people to find them organically, Like, there's going to
Okay.
be a lot of these videos, so there's
Well,
going to be
let's
plenty of
check the
hours.
link. Did you wear those glasses on the Kaiser report?
No, actually, I took a sedative the night before, a high dosage, and the next day I was feeling, you know, almost normal. I mean, he has a very loud voice, so, I was sort of, I hope the camera isn't on me too much when I'm kind of holding my ear and I'm sort of trying not to pull a face. But no, I'm okay. I mean, I don't really get photophobic. Yeah, I only wear the glasses just to take the pressure off of my head because I get I have basically a chronic headache, and so I just wear the glasses just to take the pressure off. It also really helps looking at a screen as well. They're polarizing lenses, so
Yeah.
if I tilt my head, the screen kind of goes darker. And
Well, they
it's
kind
kind
of remind me of fishing glasses, believe it or not.
right. That's right. Someone
Yeah.
else said the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's really funny. Because then if you're at a or actually you don't have to be fishing, but if you're at near a body of water like a lake, they work really good. You feel like you can see underwater sometimes, depending on how the glare is. It's really crazy. You see it's like wow. You feel like you have X-ray underwater vision a little. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So you should test that out if you're if you're near a body of water that's not too rough. You really
Mm,
can see well under it. It's pretty cool. You should
right.
check that out. Very interesting. Okay, so you're still building the pies.
Yes, I'm
Excellent.
still building the pies.
There's high demand, huh?
There is very high demand. I'd run out of places to buy the pies, and I found somewhere. In fact, actually, by coincidence, a friend of mine works for someone who sells them, and so I was able to pick up another five. So it looks like I'm going to be producing 25 before Christmas, not 20, as originally planned, because I'd oversold them a little bit. I'd sort of promised people. Well, not promised people, but I said people could put in pre-orders,
Look.
and then of course they didn't go to StartJoin because they put it off, and then all the StartJoin ones got sold, and so now I'm sort of left with some people. I haven't got enough pies to go around. Basically, there isn't enough pie, and so I asked some people, look, does anyone mind getting theirs after Christmas? And about three people said, look, we don't mind. So hopefully the longest part, this is the bit I didn't think would take this long, it's copying the blockchain, because I'm using a command called dd, disk description, from Unix. I think that's what it stands for. It's been a long time. I'll go look that up to make sure I'm not giving out misinformation. And that just takes a long time, the way you do it, particularly data description it stands for. And that command just takes a long time when you're cloning a disk, because I wanted to make sure all the sectors of the USB drives were being written to make sure there are no errors on them. I want, if I'm going to stress test them, I may as well stress test them before they get shipped out, so that if there are any errors, the errors happen now before I send them. And as a result, it's taking 16 hours to sync each disk, and I can obviously do them in parallel. So I've got to wait another hour until the first one is finished, and then I find out if it works. And then I've just given my friend Andy, who works at that company, 3 disks, and he's gone away, and I've just emailed him now a list of commands in the Raspberry Pi to check that his copy works. It looks like he's doing it quicker than me. He's got a Windows machine, I've got a Mac. It's one of the problems with having a Mac is it puts lots of little hidden files, like DS store files, on your operating system. So I don't know whether he's got some better software than me, but he said that he generated the ISO image quite quickly, and so I hope he's able to help speed things up a little bit, because I need to get these out by the weekend, by Monday really, because I fly on Monday to Germany for Christmas. So
Okay, where are you going?
yeah, to the Black Forest with my girlfriend.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to spend...
Is your girlfriend Einzelgänger Motte or something?
Oh yeah, that's right. Janine Corinna, her name is.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what that is, Einzelgänger Motte.
No, I haven't actually read her email before.
It's cool. It's pretty interesting. She describes it. It's like Einzelgänger is just like someone that walks alone.
Oh,
so like
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah.
Right. Like yeah, or like it's. I mean, it could be. It has different things. Because of course I like language too.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting when you think about. I mean, yeah, it literally means like lone walker,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also like someone that is independent and just kind of does their own thing. So that's also good. It's not only a hermit, it's also like, they just kind of do it. But yeah, it's kind of weird. What is it? Einzelgänger, so like an independent moth, I don't know. So Motte is just a moth. So I don't know. It's pretty funny, pretty interesting selection. Well, Black Forest is good. It's also there is a stereotype. It's not necessarily bad. It's just interesting. So people from like around there, they're really good at saving money and building houses.
Right.
Like very, very, but not bad. I mean, it's, and I say it laughingly because I had an ex-roommate I used to share a flat with. He was from that area, and he really was. I mean, he was like alternative stuff, but he really was. He's very frugal, very like, saved a lot of money. I couldn't figure out how he did it. Really like keeping track of a lot of stuff, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, get ready for cold. I mean, it's not that cold this year.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
But I think it'll be cold.
It will be cold. Yeah. I've got to buy like a coat and boots and everything. I don't know how I'm going to afford all this, but hopefully the price is going to go up because of the full notes. Every time I do a video,
the
price goes up.
Yeah, and then maybe the yuan devaluation will make it easier to re-up. I don't know if you're getting some of the stuff from China.
Yeah, I think what's happening is there's some big money basically in Singapore that's basically watching the World Crypto Network, and every time I go on air, they're like, this guy's scaling Bitcoin and he's doing it properly. Like, he's building these nodes and he's getting this stuff out and he's educating the people, And as I said on the Kaiser report, which will air in the next couple of days, this is a revolution of the commons. This is about the people taking back the land, the money, the guns, food, and they're going to take it back by redefining money, and whoever defines money the best is going to win. And I think that we've nailed it with Bitcoin, but it requires everyone. It's not about like pointing to a leader and saying, "Oh, hail Satoshi," whoever the fuck this person is, or whoever they are. All great myths give rise to a logic, and you never really know who the god was who invented it. The logos that came out of the ancient Greek mythos came from a time before time. It came from Mycenaeans, and we never really learned who they were properly. We only have a fake sort of very faint remnant of what came before them, and then the myths that arrived gave rise to a tremendous logos. Logos means gathering. It comes from the word leg, also elex, acorn. It means to gather. That's what logos means. It doesn't just mean logic or language or word. It means gather. And that's what Satoshi is. He's a myth, and we'll never know who he is for sure. There's just
Well,
and so
people.
all this distraction story, like I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm talking about the fact that I don't want to talk about it. I'm
Oh,
talking
I
about the
totally
fact that
agree. I
this
totally agree.
what's important is this. Like this is important shit. Like this very soon. Like when I get my hands on one of these zeros, then shit's going to get real. Because these zeros, if I can get the Bitcoin client to work on a zero, you can start handing these things out for £20, 20, 25,
Yeah, sure,
$30.
because you can get the old ones are pretty cheap. That's yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Bitcoin is quite memory hungry. These just about run Bitcoin headlessly, like, without needing to restart them. Like, you can just plug these in and leave them going. They won't crash headless. If you want to run it with a bit of a user interface, you want to see all the stats and stuff like that, like, that does often crash, and you might need to restart it now and again. If you want to use this alongside, because this has Tor built in, okay, so this automatically will connect your Bitcoin node via Tor as standard. But if you want to like disable Tor and just use it, or if you want to disable, Bitcoin and just use it as like a freedom machine, as I like to call it, you can spin up IPFS, which is the new distributed web. It's like BitTorrent, but you can read and write. You can spin up CryptoCat, which is an end-to-end encrypted chat, which runs through the Firefox, or Iceweasel as it's called for the ARM processor. And you've got a whole bunch of little toys on here that you can play around with. There's also PGP. You can connect via Keybase. Everyone that has bought one of these is going to get an invite to keybase.io from me, so you can publish your public key. If you're living in a country where you're suffering from repression, you've got OpenVPN. You can sign up for Mulvad. You can solicit donations. I can help you get funding for it. Just send me some pictures of where you live. Like tell me your story. I will promote you. I will get you money, and then you can basically use Mulvad VPN, mulvad.net, and I can write a script at some point in the new year that will set up Mulvad VPN. You can send them. You can donate to them in Bitcoins. So let's say you're somewhere like Nepal or in China. You need a VPN. Just go to mulvad.net. Go click on set up account, click the Bitcoin option, make a note of your account number and the Bitcoin address. Give me the Bitcoin address and we can get Bitcoin sent to that address, and then that will pay for your VPN. Now once you've paid for it, you click on the next page. Even before it's paid, you click on the next page, you download the settings, and once it's been paid for, it kicks in straight away, and you just have to drag. You can't really drag and drop in Linux. That's the only problem. You have to kind of do it through the command line, but I'll have to write a script that does it. But basically it copies the configuration files over to a certain folder, and then once they're in there, that's it. You're now through the Mulvad VPN, and it's been paid for not by you, so it's not even traceable to you because you've got a bunch of people to donate to it. And that's it. You got your VPN, and the government doesn't know jack shit about
That's pretty cool. I like that. That's like low friction, VPN.
Yeah, you can
but
also do it by Tor, but Tor is tricky to get working on the Pi. It sort of does work through Iceweasel. But you have to use like an extension to root it. So.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I think that as far as the whole discussion today, I think people. I think that could be why Satoshi, whether it's a person or a group, started kind of going away. Is people like or tend to go to this like cult of personality kind of thing, and to prevent that, maybe that was part of the reason. I mean, it's speculation, but it's difficult to. I don't know. You see it happen. I've even seen people that they specifically don't want that, and then it happens anyway. I don't know if it's them or if it's you know what I mean? It could be a little bit of both, but it's interesting that people want to have a simple answer or a simple solution or a simple something to identify with, and I think that's also part of it. That's why the media is so. It's a good story, it's great clickbait, and and it's also people are like, oh, okay, now I get it, or oh, that's interesting, or they like to have a single person, a single point of reference like that, I think. So,
the Bitcoin's price, you got to ask the question like cui bono, like who profits, right, from this story. And you got to remember that the media is under deep capture right now, right? They're captured by the people that want to influence the information inside of the system, because influencing the information inside of the system influences the beliefs of the people in that system, which influences the things they buy and the actions they partake in. So you've got to think about who profits from this. And Bitcoin is very susceptible to narratives and to memes and idea, like, China's buying, or like Greece is having a referendum, like Greece is going to adopt Bitcoin, and so everyone buys. It's not even like anyone really believes it's true. It's just that because this narrative exists, they think that everyone else will buy just because the narrative exists. These are
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
And I think the reason why this Satoshi story is so price is having such an effect on the price is because everyone's always wondering, like, what's he going to do with his bitcoins? Is he going to sell them? Does he have control over them? And this guy is coming out saying, oh, they're in a trust fund. I mean, anyone can do that. I could have come out and said, oh, they're in a trust fund, but the guy I gave them to is dead now, and so you can't really falsify
I think I'll just do that from now on.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell everyone I'm Satoshi.
No, just say, where are your bitcoins? Oh, they're in a trust fund.
Yeah. Or, like, what does that
just the default answer.
Like, how do you put bitcoins in a trust fund? Like, what does that mean exactly? Like,
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. What, you gave the private keys to them?
I guess that means that you don't have daily control over them. I guess theoretically you could get control of it, but maybe it's like at a certain, for some trust funds there's rules, like you get access when you're 60 years old or whatever. You know what I mean? So that could be one way to look at it. That's about all I could think about the whole trust fund thing. It sounds kind of funny, kind of a nice excuse. But I think the whole devaluation thing is also the same. It's also a story, but I guess it has some merit, more, quote, fundamental merit to it. That the Chinese currency is falling, so what are you going to do? Put it in something, whether that's Bitcoin or stocks or I don't know what. Okay, here we go. That if they identify the bitcoins as assets, he can borrow against them without touching them. Okay, well, that's interesting.
Where are you getting that from?
In our internal chat here. I'm not sure who said that. Another World Crypto Network person.
Oh, okay.
I guess Tom. Sorry. Yeah, sure. If someone would accept it as an asset, yeah, sure. I guess that would work. Yeah, so that's cool. But it's still, I think that's what it is with the trust fund. So if I have a trust fund, Theo's trust fund, I could probably get a loan and use that as collateral, but I wouldn't have access to the funds until whatever I'm a certain age or whatever guideline. It's like saying, okay, right. It's like a letter saying in 2020 you get paid 1 million Bitcoin or 1 millibitcoin.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this is like, anyone can just say this. I don't really get it, and the evidence sounds really sketchy. It's just a good story. It's just storytelling.
Yeah, it's a great story. Let's do another story.
And it just gets ads.
What's the next story? The next story is...
Well, they want to get the price up. It looks like somebody wants the price to go up because now that we've sort of broken up into this region, there aren't many resistance points above us. We've got one at 450 on ThinX, and maybe 500 might be a tricky price point to get through, but there's not a whole bunch of time that we've spent there in recent history, and so all it takes is for a cascade. Sellers basically just need to withdraw their asks, and away you go. That's all it takes. And if this 4-year narrative of like, okay, 4 years is an eternity in Bitcoin land, right? So as far as investors are concerned, it's like, well, shit, if we know that these coins are locked up in a trust fund, then we know he's not going to dump into the market. And then you've got to consider all the people that lost their coins early on because they were mining and they didn't think anything of it at the time. They weren't worth anything. And then they lost them. So there's been a lot of deflation already in the Bitcoin system. Then, guess what? You know, that could be a reason for sellers to, and miners in particular, with the halvening coming up, don't forget, in July, there'll be plenty of anticipation, you can bet, in January about that, and about how, you know, only 7 months to go until the halving, what are the miners going to do? The miners going to have to, like...
I think this is already part of it, a little bit. And, yeah, I don't know. I think that there are people that... I don't know why people will remove their sell orders. I mean, if you bought on spot over exuberantly around here or higher, you know, a few weeks ago...
No, this is the people that accumulated down in the 220s. Like,
yeah,
there was a lot of accumulation.
Someone that has accumulated around there is waiting for the halving, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think you're not just thinking, like, don't just think about the margin traders, think about the big investors. They don't margin trade. They just buy on dark market. They buy on the sort of the dark pools, and they're buying for long term, like years in advance. And if this guy comes out with a narrative like 4 years down the line, you know, then that's the excuse they need to put their coins into cold storage, take them off the exchange. They then see this as a longer term play, and that's when you see the withdrawal.
But the margin is what's going to fuel it, because they got to get squeezed, the shorters. You see, that's going to fuel a lot of this crazy.
Right. That's what Flipper always talks about. Yeah.
Well, it's true. I mean, it's kind of like playing chicken. You know, who is going to get faked out first? I'm trying to do a screen share. Why doesn't that work? Because I've got a really funny meme. Okay, I'll try it. So I don't want to distract you from your production. Get back to the...
No, I have to wait for this other disc to finish. I've got as many discs as I can being copied at the moment.
I want to see you sweat. You got to be working here. Got to get the... Come on, screen share. I'm trying, ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't want to do it. So I'm going to post it in the chat, and someone else can screen share it. It's a funny little one. But yeah, I think that the price is pretty high right now. Let's see what happens. I think that we'll see some action coming into the weekend, because Friday is settlement and there is new quarterlies for all your traders out there. So here we go. See, there's the bears. They're sitting there waiting to get squeezed. You know, just want to squeeze the bears. So I think that, you know, that's, you know, or like today, there was a little sell, and you know, kind of touched 400, but then it bounced right back up. So
what we're seeing now is all these former resistance lines turn into support. That's what's encouraging. Yeah, is that we're going up in legs. We held on at 300. We held at 220, apart from Finex and the flash crash. We held at 220 after nearly 12 months there, and then we held at 300, 315 range. That became the new 220 range, 2 to 220 range, and now we're up in the 420 range, and this is going to be the new support area right where we are now.
That's
right. And then we're going to make an attack for 500, and then maybe that fails at first because everyone goes long and they get overexcited.
Yeah.
And then
there's a new story that comes out, and you can blame the story. You know, the MMM people have to buy Christmas presents.
And it turned out that
they sold. You know.
Yeah, and then it turned out that was the reason all along, right? Like that's the thing.
Yeah. So and the MMM people are going to buy Christmas gifts around the 23rd. So get ready for a big dump.
I'd love to see us go back up to 680, you know, touch on this sort of 650, 680. We spent a bit of time there as well. I mean, like, I kind of agree with Crypto Keeper that you should sort of wipe that part of the chart away. What does he say? Oh, no. He says wipe the part of the chart when we go up to 1200, because that's all kind of like, you know, old, and a lot of that volume was fake anyway on the way up from...
it's all fake. This whole trading thing. It's not. I mean, fake.
Yeah, but
fake is. I know what you mean. You're talking about Willybot, but right now we have a different fake. Wash trading.
Yeah, but there's also more people
adding a zero end of their volume.
There's
So it's a
also,
kind of a different kind of fake, but yeah, it's
that's
still.
true, but there's also more people, a lot more people involved in Bitcoin now.
No, I agree. I mean, sure, depending on how you want to fundamentally look at it, there's more Bitcoin in supply
Yeah.
right now than back then. There's more leverage in both directions. So, that's a different game than in 2013 for sure. Yeah. Yeah, sure. You could erase that from your memory on the chart, definitely. On the other hand, that's just what Bitcoin does. It just it does these really crazy moves sometimes like that. Um, let's see here. Well,
Okay.
what website did you tell people to go to protip.is on Max Kaiser? Because
Well,
you'll get a lot
the
of
thing
hits
is,
then.
no, I didn't because you get 12.5 minutes. It's all a bit of a whirlwind,
Yeah, you
and
told me he's like
he
yelling and
steers the
stuff.
conversation. Although he did give me a lot of time to talk. I think I probably talked more than most of his guests do. But no, I didn't basically because I mean he obviously says like StartJoin pro tip, and actually I'm pretty happy with StartJoin. I have to say I wasn't I was going to go on it originally when we did the Indiegogo, but I decided against it because I felt like Indiegogo was a better platform at the time for what we were trying to do. I don't think we would have raised $12,000 on StartJoin initially because remember we didn't have a product back
Yeah,
then.
well now
And now we have a
they've got more
product.
supporters now
They've got
too.
more. They've got more supporters. They've got quite a good community. I really like that community. I think Max is. He's going. He's certainly gone up in my estimation since I met him. He's a really, really nice guy face to face. Yes, he was doing a bit of pumping and dumping and stuff like that before. Sort of lost a bit. He took a bit of a knock to his reputation after that.
So
But
you
I
mean
think now, like,
you didn't talk about a new Litecoin target on
no,
the show?
I mean, I was disappointed when he did that, but I think also he knows that. Like, I think he's a smart guy. He used to work in markets and trading and Max Coin, but Max Coin's still going. I mean, it's still a thing, and they even accept Quarkcoin on StartJoin. So look, you know, it's not what he did is not the crime of the century. I don't think he made money off of any of these things that he did. I think he just did it because he's a very, he's very flamboyant character. I think he partly does it. Maybe it's a bit of an ego boost for him. I don't know, but I think he just wanted to. He had a lot of followers. He had influence. He wanted to use that influence. But I also another thing I see in him, having met him face to face, is he does want to help people. He wants to promote people. He wants to support this revolution. And I didn't at any point feel like, this was like him shilling pro tip or like, there was an element of obviously go to StartJoin because it's his business, but then I do that with pro tip too because
No,
anyone would.
I
But
think it's good. I think it's good.
yeah, I
I
think he's all
I
right. I
liked
think
them because they supported my even though it was really small back then, they still kind of encouraged the whole Sound Wallet project and me doing it at
right.
the very beginning when it first started, and that was cool. And yeah, I think now, like you said, the community's really grown. There's a lot of people on there willing to support stuff, and that's cool. So why not do it like that? They seem to they want to support good projects. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a good project, then head over to startjoin.com/Theo Reflink and tell them that Theo sent you with a cool project. No, I'm just joking. It is pretty cool, and the original idea I think they still have it. They have this thing called concepts. So you're supposed to
Yes.
just like
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hmm.
you can just kind of put an idea out there and see if people are interested or not. So if more people get on there and throw stuff out there, then that's cool because I had the feeling that they're just kind of looking for cool stuff that has good value to support, basically. So that's always a good sign. And if you've lasted this long in the crypto world and you're not dead, then what is this, like over a year it's been around? That's pretty good. That's like what,
That's very good. Yeah.
10 years or something in human life?
Yeah. Like dog years.
Right. So that's pretty good. Yeah, MaxCoin, LOL. Now it's StartJoin, and I don't know
Well,
what.
Max Coin wasn't even his thing. I mean, someone else did it, and I think he just kind of, again, it was a vanity thing, and yeah. But
Yeah,
I
vanity
think,
thing.
I
Yeah.
forgive him. I think, it's cool. Like, he got, excited, and I think, the only problem with that kind of stuff is it does mess around with people's expectations, and, getting people to sort of buy an asset thinking it's going to go up in value. But,
Oh, let's
I
get him
think
on the
I think
Bitcoin
he
group.
sort of
Let's get him
realizes
on the
that.
Bitcoin group yelling and stuff.
What's that?
Oh, let's get him on the Bitcoin group as a special guest, and he can yell
Yeah,
and
why
stuff.
not? I think he'd be up for it, actually. I think he'd be
Why?
up for it.
What? These bankers!
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
he's
what.
really good at channeling the anger, of the people.
He is. He is. Yeah.
Okay, I'm now testing one of the emery sticks finished earlier than I thought they would. So I'm going to test this one now. Oh, hello.
Hi, it's Gabriel.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, Chris. Good to talk to you finally.
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah, man, I believe in what you're
I
doing.
can see you properly now.
I almost wore my shades, but it's getting kind of dark here.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Theo?
Just chilling. I saw him doing the silent factory work, so I thought I'd come on and get the discussion going.
Awesome.
You know what I
Man.
want to do, though? I've decided that I want to make 500 of these, long run.
Are you going to number them?
Yeah, they're all numbered. Dude,
perfect.
not only am I numbering them, I'm signing certificates of authenticity with my PGP key, including the serial number and the MAC address of the device. So
that.
everyone gets a certificate, and they're all numbered. And it's like I'm running them backwards from 20, basically, because of the way I ended up doing all the drives. I got confused and I muddled that to reformat some. So I'm working my way backwards. So the first one went out today, hand delivered to the person that inspired the idea. I will leave it to them as to whether they want to come forward and say who they are, because Bitcoin is optional identity and all that. So I'm running backwards, and the next one, well, this one is actually number 19 now that I'm working on, and hopefully, I'm just going to load up now, see if it works. Should be good.
That is so cool because we can see you from above. I love that.
Yeah.
I was like, who's that guy in the lab there? Who the hell's that? And then I realized we got two cameras going.
Yeah. So I might just live in a room full of cameras and live in a flat full of cameras, and people can just watch me like 24/7 building these pies. And
I think that that might be something that happens in the future. I mean, people appreciate privacy though, but I feel like it will be possible to have ubiquitous surveillance of anyone and everyone, each other, sort of decentralized surveillance in the future.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a brainstorm. This is like a new kind of crowdfunding you've invented, where you go live on air and actually you're like in the startup, the people. They're like, if you're a supporter, then you get you get access to the camera in the office, and you can just like talk to them all day, or you can and they have to. I mean, they don't have to perform, but you're just hanging out with them, just like you were at the office. If you want, if you're an investor or you're a supporter or whatever, if it's crowdfunding or if it's investing or whatever, and it would be kind of like what you're doing. You'd say, okay, I'm on camera, 5 days a week from this hour to this hour, and that's like part of the deal. It could be a standard even.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than what we have now, which is just completely entrusting your money to some random entities who wrote stuff on a website.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, right? And then you're like, oh, whoa, we can't just sit around and eat tacos all day. We have to actually do stuff. Or,
At least when I eat the tacos, you can see me eating the tacos.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Eating tacos and doing work is not a contradiction here.
Right, but I don't know. I mean, that could work in some way. You know, it's kind of like reality TV, so the
Yeah.
masses kind of like that,
Hmm.
but it's so raw. And more, you know, reality TV is sub-reality. It's not really reality. It's mostly scripted. You know, so but this is more raw.
You mean Chris isn't reading from a script right now?
No, and I wasn't even supposed to come on. I just
Yeah, it's
randomly
true.
came. You
You
know,
guys are both lying. I can see the teleprompter just in front of his screen there on
No,
the overhead
I'm
cam.
reading the directory to the RC local file because I can not remember it off by heart. Local bin. It's not auto-completing.
Oh, you guys were talking about DD earlier. I thought it was disk duplicate. That was what I
That's
thought.
what I thought that for a while, but it's data description.
Data description.
Well,
Wow.
that's what it says. Well, look it up. So I just briefly looked at the Wikipedia page. I could be wrong. Maybe I misread it, but
Could be. I'm definitely not an expert in Linux or Unix commands, that's for sure.
User, etc. RC local. Okay, etc. That's why it wasn't RC dot local.
So who all is on right now? There's Theo, and then there's two World Crypto. Then there's one. Who's that? Who's World Crypto
That's
Network
Tom.
right now? That's Tom. Oh, he's muted.
Yeah.
Did you guys mute him? Was he being a problem?
No, he's himself.
yeah, we had to intervene.
He's at work. All right. Hi. You wouldn't want Andrew to overhear you or whatever.
Yeah, we had to intervene and mute, you know, Tom. It was getting a little too crazy, too loud. Yeah, good.
So, did Chris already? I'm not going to bother him. Did he already record the Max Kaiser segment?
Yeah. It should be on RT tomorrow or the next day.
Sweet.
So we can watch it, and then we can say, "Hey, I know someone that was on TV." Look.
Is that the same? That's not the same turtleneck, is it?
No, it's a different one.
That's a sweatshirt.
Right.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
also the thing. If you're being under surveillance like this publicly, then you have to change your clothes more often.
I was going to say, I can't believe Chris has more than one turtleneck. You're wasting all your money talking about people that have these jobs and to up their lifestyle, and you have a closet full of 900,000 gold-threaded
What?
turtlenecks.
No.
So
I
unfair.
buy them from the basement. I buy them from like the bargain
thing. It's a £1.16 per.
Like I buy them in the summer when they're cheap and they've got them in that discount.
Oh yeah, out of season. That's right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got like 10 of them, I think.
10 of them. They were 60p each.
No, not quite that cheap. Probably
Not
made
quite
in
that
China. Okay, we're verifying blocks.
Made in China. Right.
Fair.
Right.
It's looking
Well,
promising.
this is kind of exciting for me because ever since I saw Mr. Chris Ellis on the World Crypto Network live with Andreas Antonopoulos, maybe 18, 19 months ago, and you were just ranting to the max, and Andreas was like, "Don't stop!"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
You were totally ranting about the nation states and how easy it is to lie, and how the Bitcoin blockchain offers us an opportunity for the first time to have immutable data that thousands, millions, everyone can agree upon actually happened due to its mathematical, cryptographic proofs, and it was just like so mind-blowing. And I think you have excellent presenting skills, which is not that common. I like to think I had decent ones, but I'm not that experienced. But I think maybe your time in the film industry or something allows you to speak without the ums and the ahs and the pauses, and you were kind of in a flow there where you were able to squish it all together into like a 6-minute talk where it just really impacted everybody. And I was like, who's this guy? That's the Feathercoin guy? Wow, okay, cool.
Back in the day. Oh yeah, your future rant on Twitter. That's how I know you. Yeah, that's how I thought I recognized your name, yeah.
Yeah, I started a little blog. I haven't really been writing that much, been kind of busy, and I've been wanting to. I actually talked to you about doing a little interview. I know you haven't been feeling well, But you know, maybe we can do that at some point. I'm trying to think. Do I have my questions here? Maybe I can start just battering you with questions while you're trying to do delicate Linux stuff. All right, cool. I'm gonna look for my file.
Jesus, it's fucking working. Okay, great. That means that the strategy I'm using is working. Oh,
Nice.
I'm such fucking relieved. Okay, I'm gonna try and plug the camera in so I can show you the screen grab of it. God, that's a relief because that took like so long to write that disk, and I was so nervous that it was like not going to work, or that it was going to copy errors, and I don't know.
Are you able to like make a batch script or something to automate as much of the code side as possible?
Yeah, I wish I could, but like the problem is
you have to like unhook and rehook stuff.
If the DD works, then that means that every volume will have the same UUID, because I have to edit the FS tab file, and obviously that's got to be bound to the unique identifier of the disk, which is dependent at the time, is set at the time of formatting. So if I DD the volume, then yes, in theory I could do a bash script, although it's probably not worth it now because I'm halfway through them. It's not that much trouble, and in any case I do need to check each one works, so I kind of do need to go in, so whilst I'm in there I may as well just do it. But yeah, I guess I could, but if each one has a different UUID, I'm not good enough at scripting to, like, you know, work out. Yeah, I'm not smart enough.
It's a for loop, no problem.
What's that?
For loop. Do you know what that is? A for loop?
No, I'm not that advanced.
Oh, okay, that's a standard programming. It loops and counts how many times it does anything.
Right.
It's called a for. You say for this, do this kind of thing.
Okay, now let me see if I can get this other camera working. One sec.
A third camera,
no,
yeah.
This is working here.
Where's your camera, Theo?
Oh, I'm not on camera right now.
No, it's not working.
Are you looking that bad? Oh crap! Really?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm multitasking. I don't know if I don't ever look bad.
Tom looked great. He looked busy in his office.
Oh, yeah, I'm just at home up really late doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's 3 in the morning there, Deutschland.
It's 2, yeah, it's 2 in the morning, yeah, but
there he is.
I'm kind of on a weird schedule right now.
Okay.
Oh no, that's Chris's cam. Hey, this is the shirt I'm wearing, guys. Check it out. It's a tiger, and it's French. It says "Je suis comme un tigre avec des ailes," and it means I'm like a tiger with wings. It's my tiger with wings shirt.
Nice.
You don't worry, you're not supposed to get it.
I'm just working out.
I'm just trying to think. A tiger with wings is like.
It's just such a bizarre thing to have on a shirt. I had to get it.
It is. No, it reminds me of like a Greek god or something, or a Egyptian god. No, do they have like a cat with wings? One of them.
Oh, Egyptian. Yeah, there's the cat-headed chick, Anubis or whatever.
It reminds me, Anuk. Yeah, it reminds me of something.
Okay, so we have, guys. Look, it's working.
Wow.
It's working. There it is. That's the command line interface of Bitcoin.
Of running a node. Oh, that's cool. Bitcoin Dash. Oh, got it. Very cool.
So, I don't have enough Ethernet cables to be able to.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So I'm going to see now what peer info there is. So you can see I'm connected, and this is what it's saying is my local address, but that isn't my local address. That's a Tor exit node address.
Nice.
Yeah, so looks like we're all good here. Looks like this is running. So now what I have to do is run a command that exports the manufacturer data, basically the serial number and so forth, and then I'll sign something, leave a little message for the person that's going to be buying it, and then they'll know. They can even look up this timestamp in the video and like see, oh, this is when Chris actually made my individual device. Which would be a cool thing.
What's the storage on this? What's the storage on each node right now?
Oh, 128 gigabytes external and 8 gigabytes internal. You get about 3.3 gigabytes left after I've installed all the dependencies and stuff.
Okay, so that should be. Oh well, Well, you have to leave some space for the future, for the blockchain, right? I mean, each node's going to have the blockchain on it, right?
Yeah, but at the moment the blockchain node takes up 55 gig, and then in about a year it'll be about 100 gig, and then about a year and a bit will be more than enough. But I've already tested out what will happen when the drive fills up. Bitcoin still runs, but it runs very poorly, and eventually it just crashes. But it's okay. Like, it reports back to you. It doesn't kernel panic. It doesn't do anything like unpredictable, basically. So you'll know when it's not working, when the disk is full, because it will return an error, disk space, error. And then all you need to do is, by that time, in 18 months, you'll probably be able to buy a 500 gigabyte USB stick for the same price that you can buy 128 gig now. I mean, for all we know, it could be a terabyte by that time. So then it's just a case of replacing it,
Yeah, so you just copy over all your old data and then download the rest of the blockchain.
And the great thing about these little devices is that the JSON RPC is enabled as well. I've enabled the server mode. So you'll be able to broadcast your own transactions if you're a coder, or even if you're not. If you get the Mastering Bitcoin book by Andreas Antonopoulos, you can just work your way through the command line interface and broadcast your own transactions. You don't need companies like blockchain.info and people like that. Like, I'm not saying they don't offer a good service. Like, I'm not saying we don't need them at all in the ecosystem. It's just that Bitcoin already comes with a lot of this stuff baked in, and you may as well use it, right? Like, if it's there, you can broadcast your own. Like, why doesn't a merchant have one of these sitting in there?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to. That's what I'm saying.
The merchants should have these like in their stores, connected with little printers to do the receipts, and then they broadcast their own transactions. And
yeah, it should be a standard. Every Bitcoin company should have a full node.
Yeah.
To independently, at least or if they can't have it, that it's like, at least connects once a week or something, but way better if it is really live the whole time. So then, they can independently, do what you described, basically, do their own transactions, or at least say, hey, we have a record, and that's the whole point of it, and that's possible. It's not that crazy. And like I said, I think they should get like a little badge or something, even though, so like, full node, get it here.
Yeah, little FN badge.
Yeah, like that's cool. Online stores or brick and mortar stores or businesses could say, we run our own full nodes.
Mm-hmm.
We don't rely on a third party, because people in the Bitcoin world really do appreciate that. It does sound paranoid or whatever, but people really do appreciate stuff like that, and slightly paranoid security stuff. People are more like that. Everyone wants 2FA, even though not everyone uses it. For the most part, that's become like a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, why can't we have every company having a node as being a standard, not using a third party? I think that's a good. Sounds feasible enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
You let the intern maintain the node. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no reason in this day and age not to run a full node on some extra computer in a Bitcoin company, and it'll just get that much easier in the future. I wonder about Chris just said, he expected it to double in a year. So if it's doubling every year, that seems pretty fast, actually, come to think of it. I mean, it will get more expensive.
How did I work that out? It was like, well, you can work it out, because it's like a megabyte, and also remember the block is going to increase. At the moment, the latest suggestion is up to 4 megabytes, 2 to 4 megabytes. So, ProTip has just sent out a bunch of tips.
So it will get more expensive, but still, it's still trivial cost for a company to drop $112, on a drive or whatever, or $32 or whatever it is. it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I run a full node whenever I can, and I'm going to spend some time to set up an old computer to run it and just pop in old drives. I mean, it's very cheap. It doesn't use much bandwidth. It's something that is so important, and I think it's very cool. I was just thinking about it on my walk just now, and this whole project is so great. After doing ProTip, to jump into a full node project is so representative of a long-term trend in society right now. I hesitate to call it a paradigm shift, but there's a reason that that term is overused. It's because change is accelerating in society and in culture. And the participatory nature of the future means that it's all incumbent upon individuals to support the future, to support the society that they envision, to support the society that they want in the future. And running full nodes is like a perfect example where it's only a cost financially and time-wise and everything. I mean, emotionally you get a nice payback, but it's unlike some altcoins. Running full nodes are not incentivized in Bitcoin. So it's a perfect example of, okay, there's these 6,000 or 8,000 individuals, companies that are supporting the network, out of generosity and out of personal interest and company interest in order to support the ecosystem. And that process of incentivizing individuals through more than just financial structures, but also emotional structures, and just as a general cultural norm of participation, that's happening right now on a large scale. I mean, the internet itself is an example of that. Go back to 1962 or 1975, and most of the populace are passive consumers of information.
Yeah.
There's there's a tiny percentage of very active citizenry that are writing letters at that time, in the mid-20th century in Western cultures, but the hierarchical top-down informational and societal model dictated that the dissemination of information came from the top. And if you were below there, you were a passive consumer, and you just gobbled up that information and bought it, hook, line, and sinker. That started changing. There's been rumblings before that, but once the internet really took off in the mid-90s, that changed a whole lot. And I have to go back to Terence McKenna. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He was an American writer, and he was like a psychedelic performer. He was almost like a spiritual performer, kind of the psychedelic version of Alan Watts, and less well-educated than Alan Watts. But he was he talked about this guy Mircea Eliade, or Eliade, a Romanian, I believe, or Romanian-American anthropologist, who talked about the dominator versus partnership cultures. He studied a lot of Neolithic things, where there was this sort of partnership culture in the early development of agriculture, where it was before we had warfare, but we did have agriculture. It was this sort of open village model as a sort of a peaceful structure for society. And this guy Eliade, as well as Terence McKenna, both saw that culture was going back in the other direction over the long scale. And I just love, when I found out about your project for full nodes, I just was like, yeah, that's exactly it. You make it as easy as possible for as many people as possible to just jump in, plug the thing in, boom, I'm running a full node. It costs me almost nothing, a little bit up front, and then a tiny amount in bandwidth and electricity, and boom, you're supporting the network, you're helping the decentralization. That whole model is just huge. It's going to grow so much. Everybody's going to have like funky gear at home that they run, whether it's going to be supporting full node, the various altcoins. You got MadeSafe, where you're going to be farming everybody will be farming, in my opinion. I think MadeSafe has a huge future. The applications are just insane, and you can easily run Bitcoin over MadeSafe, no problem. You don't have to use their.
Is it up and running yet?
No,
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. I would say that definitely a slow and steady wins the race thing is what they're doing. Yeah.
It's older than Bitcoin.
Much older, yeah, or three whole years older. Yeah, I mean, they've been at it 9 years. I know that they changed the technology behind MadeSafe last year or early this year. They completely rewrote their entire code base in a new language called Rust, which is, I believe, tailored for decentralized systems, which is an incredible new field that I believe that the literal bulk of code, the code base was reduced by something like 85 or 90% by switching from C++ to Rust. And then their development also sped up hugely. So they took some time to rewrite it, and they're still kind of wrapping up the bug fixing and stuff from the rewrite in order so that they can move forward that much faster, and so that it'll be that much easier to write apps once they do launch. But from what I could tell, from what I could understand of what David Irvine has said in interviews, because he's Scottish, and it's so it's so hard to understand everything he says. I mean, Vinay Gupta, that's nothing compared to this Irvine. He's from Troon, from some village near, Glasgow or whatever. From what I could tell, the whole 2013 fundraiser, that was just because he was like, oh, this project I've been working on for 7 years, I'll get a lot more attention and possibly funding now that Bitcoin is huge. And he was right. They raised $12 million or something, so that was really smart. But I don't think his intention was to get it out faster than the schedule that they already had. I've been following the development, and they're definitely moving forward very thoroughly. Grundsätzlich, Theo.
Well, grundlich and is thoroughly, but grundsätzlich.
How do you say that in English?
Grundsätzlich is fundamentally.
Right, according to fundamental principles.
Right, exactly. Right. Grundlich would be thoroughly. So,
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so they're moving forward. They're not rushing it. They're moving forward very thoroughly and very principled, in a principled fashion, and it's definitely a very solid framework. There are some ifs, in my opinion. Bitcoin is the running, functioning system. People are using it and have been for years. That is huge. MadeSafe, they're still writing base functionality as far as the algorithms. The Bitcoin white paper has this math in it. It's way above my head, but it's like the mining algorithm mathematics, where he's like, okay, we're going to do this, and just hopefully that will actually work with human beings in real situations. Yeah. And MadeSafe is, I believe, they're definitely still composing some base algorithms that will function for example, the farming. I'm pretty sure that they haven't decided exactly what the reward, storage to reward ratio will be as far as competition on the network. For listeners or whoever's on here, whoever who will listen to this in the future, farming is the MadeSafe equivalent of Bitcoin's mining, where you are donating your storage to the network for encrypted shards of files to be stored.
But IPFS comes on this little Raspberry Pi, and that's going to have something very similar.
That's like a sharding algorithm too, isn't it?
That's a Merkle DAG, a direct acyclic graph. So they've got Filecoin. Now, I'm not entirely sure. Again, why do you need your own coin?
Hey guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but before I forget, and I think it's interesting. So tomorrow I'm gonna go on Block Talk, which is Alex's show, and Alex was in the chat. I don't know if he's listening, and Storage is coming on. So Sean from Storage. So it's like similar. There's some similar themes. So if you guys would have like questions, I mean, I'm gonna kind of like go. I have a few questions, but it's more on the like token economy and what's up with all that kind of stuff. You know, some pretty tough questions. But as far as the technology side, I think they have a beta, you know, running.
Yeah. I think Storage is kind of testing it out and stuff. Yeah. What's Filecoin, Chris?
Oh, that's to do with IPFS. It's a way of incentivizing people to host content.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, with MadeSafe, they have SafeCoin, which is a non-blockchain cryptocurrency, which that I understand they want to have a totally different thing for their network that's going to incentivize the farming system. I think that's very necessary, and I'm really interested in SafeCoin. It's totally not a blockchain at all, and it's not traceable. So you would not be able to set up a transparent. I mean, you'd have to build a layer of transparency on top of a system. For example, if you were a charity, a MadeSafe charity who was somehow involved or ran your system with MadeSafe, and you wanted to have trackable SafeCoin, you'd have to build that on top, because at the base layer, it's the opposite of Bitcoin. It's completely anonymous from day one. It's also once again not a ledger technology at all. So it's also not divisible. If the SafeCoin, the 4 billion SafeCoin that will eventually exist, become more valuable, they'll have to create a divisible coin structure where you would like literally get change for your SafeCoin, and then have some sort of safe bits where they're a millionth of a SafeCoin or whatever.
You know what? We did one of the last Chris Before Coffees. We had the MadeSafe people on, and I was trying to figure out how it works, like about just simply the token thing. You kind of described it, because the token out now is based on Mastercoin, which has been pivoted to Omni, and that's just a token. And then whenever a MadeSafe starts, you can change that out for the real deal SafeCoin.
Right. Those are called MadeSafe coin. Those are just markers to indicate ownership in the future.
And I would have to go back and watch the show, because I don't remember how it works. But I mean, I was trying to, there's no blockchain, and it's untraceable. Well, then how do you send everything? And how do I prevent double spending and some of those simple issues like that? And it's kind of complicated or just different.
Completely different. Double spending. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. How the double spending. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure that there is no double spending protection, in the sense that basically, well, no, I mean, each token is like, I'm pretty sure it's like a number, so it's the opposite of a ledger, right? They're actual units of digital data that the signature changes hands. So I'm pretty sure that there's no double spend protection. If somebody steals your key and spends your money, it's spent and you lost it. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's more like a digital cache file that changes hands, that changes signatures when it's spent. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I just want to say that Andy, a friend of mine, is just testing out his copying feature, and it's working. Look at that. So he's got his Raspberry Pi up and running. He's got unit number 8. And you know who you are out there. If you're watching, you know that yours is unit number 8, because I've told that person already. So unit 8 is now up and running. The copy of the blockchain, I started it yesterday, was having problems copying it over, but there it is. Thank you to Andy, who's actually quite local to me as it happens, just as a coincidence, since Bitcoin we've met at a few meetups. So he's going to copy 3 disks, and I've got quite a few to get through myself. So I don't know if I'm going to stay up all night, because I've got a medical appointment tomorrow very early. And so I don't know what I'm going to do, really. I'm also coming down with a bit of a cold, I think, as well. So, okay.
Uh-oh. Okay, so we're shutting off the factory today?
No. I'm sticking around. I said I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. So there you have. This one seems to be working. I'm just going to boot up into the user interface, make sure that. So when you get this, may as well take this opportunity to show people. So this one's running on a Wi-Fi. Just to be clear, you don't get a Wi-Fi dongle. Because I didn't really want to like sell this with all the bells and whistles. I wanted to try and keep it at around the £100 mark, and so you will have to buy the peripherals yourself, but they're not very expensive. The little Wi-Fi dongle is only about £6-7 here in the UK. They are quite cheap. You basically are running a full node. You don't get a miner either, but again, you can just go on eBay, get yourself an amp miner. It's the same speed as the 21 computer. The difference is that what 21 do is they cover up what's called variance in the mining process, so they give you a consistent supply of coins rather than the truth, which is that when you mine, you get variance. Sometimes you get like lucky and you get a whole bunch of coins, and then you can go like a week without getting any. And so they obscure that fact, but that's actually lying to you about the true underlying nature of reality, which is not as predictable as certain as you think. So let's take this opportunity just to show you when you get your client, as default, it will load up the Bitcoin daemon along with the Tor daemon as well. So if you want to open it up into the user interface, something that you're more familiar with if you're not a coder, what you will need to do is type in bit, you press the tab key on the keyboard, and then that will auto-complete to Bitcoin, and go -CLI, stands for command line interface, and then you need to hit stop. Okay, and when you do that, it says Bitcoin server stopping. Now you're going to need to leave it for a few moments whilst it's doing that, because it will take a little while to stop. You can check to see if it stops by doing the Bitcoin CLI get info, and there you go, no response from server. You can then do the command start X, which will load up the desktop. Now it's a little bit slow, it's not the fastest computer on earth, but it does the job. There we go, and that's Philippe's wonderful artwork there. We've got on one of our...
Hey, are there any video games on it?
No, there are no video. Well, there might be actually that come with the Raspberry Pi itself. Yeah, you've got Python games, yeah, here you go. I don't know what they do though, I haven't really played around with it. So yeah, I guess there are some games on there. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up Bitcoin QT. So I'm going to type in Bitcoin again, -QT. How well you can see that. Now you will not be able to load up Bitcoin QT if the Bitcoin daemon is running. So if you try to just go through to StartX and then load up the interface, let me just fiddle with the camera settings here to get the settings.
I can't see anything coming out of that camera.
There you go. There you go. Is that better?
I can't. I haven't gotten anything actually. Theo, can you see his camera?
I can see it now. I can see it now. Bitcoin Core. Oh, you're in Hangout. You have to select that camera.
I see.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you wouldn't see it because you're part of our Hangout.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So as I was saying, so when you if you try to load up the Bitcoin, user interface, it won't load up if you're running the Bitcoin daemon in the background headlessly. The reason we prefer the headless configuration as default is because it's much faster that way. It doesn't have to load up lots of graphics. You can even configure the Raspberry Pi to hand over some of the memory over to the command line client. Now this bit, as you can see, takes a little while. It's verifying all the blocks, making sure that they all sum all the way back to the 3rd of January 2009, first Genesis block, which is included in the source code. And then it's going through, verifying all the blocks. And I don't really recommend that you use this as a wallet with any large sum of money in it. I mean, by all means, send it some small change. If you want to experiment by putting messages in the blockchain or timestamping any of your work, maybe you're a journalist or an author or an inventor, and you want to be able to timestamp some of your work so that you can, prove that you came up with it, that you are the originator. There you go. And it's saying we're 3 hours behind, and that's because I've copied the blockchain from another device about 3 hours ago. This process will be time consuming because it's now got to go and discover other nodes. So we've got 0 active connections, but if you go up to help, debug window, you'll be able to see the peers eventually. You'll see them appear under here and in here as well. And as I say, it is loading through. There you go. We've got two peer connections now. Looks like we're coming through a DNS seed here. So this node here is going to give us a whole bunch of other nodes to connect to so that we can start getting the blockchain. And you can also run the console in the same way that we did before in the command line. You get a Bitcoin Core console here, so you can interact with the blockchain there. Because we're through Tor, I've noticed that you don't get as many inbound requests on when you're running through an Onion service, and that may have a lot to do with your internet provider and what policies they have. Let me just see if I can display this in the main present to everyone. Okay, is that presenting to you now?
Just a second. Yeah, I see it.
I can only see, oh, let's see, there's an arrow now.
Yeah, it says Satoshi version 0.11.2.
I'm going to reload. I'll be right back. See if that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also probably want to check the troll box as well, because we've got a troll box.
Oh, yeah. Man, hey, Google, why don't you have that so the people in here can see that directly?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
Let's see what people are saying.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what you're seeing now would be a perfect Christmas gift for someone.
Except I don't have time to make it.
Okay, well then you can get a cryptographic certificate that promises you a node in the future, and it would be a one-of-a-kind gift numbered and signed by Mr. Chris Ellis. Yes. Check it out. And if the Bitcoin price is going up, then buy a bunch of stuff on Purse. Okay, that was it for the commercial.
Oh, wait, we're promoting Purse now?
No, I'm just I was just doing kind of like a ad-lib commercial break. I just thought it was a good time, like on the radio. And now it's time for the commercial break. Are you looking for? You're not sure what to buy for Christmas?
Hey, Purse is great. I love Purse. I think it's fantastic.
So it's unit number 19. It's now up and running. I just need to run that special command that takes out the manufacturer serial number, etc.
Speaking of Purse, they announced some new project called Iridium today. Anyone have an idea what that is, other than Thomas, who can't actually tell us?
What, because he's not allowed to, or because he's just not around?
I'm assuming he's not allowed to, since it's a limited, I don't know. They've announced that they've got something going on, and like a mailing, you're allowed to join the mailing list as of today.
Okay.
So have you guys talked about, I believe they're calling it SigWit, Signature Witness, at all today?
No.
This is, oh no, excuse me, Signature, what's that called? Let me look it up. This is the thing that was, this is the thing that was announced at Segregated Witness, excuse me,
Oh yeah, the time lock verify.
Right. Well, no, not time lock verify. Segregated Witness is separating out the signatures from the rest of the transaction data. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm getting confused. Sorry, my brain is kind of frazzled at the moment. I haven't been able to keep up with.
Well, that will definitely frazzle your brain because I don't totally get it yet.
Yeah, I looked into it. It sounds like basically they're just separating out the signature data in the transaction from the rest of the data, and by doing that, it allows much more flexibility in how the blockchain is stored, as well as it makes it easier to fix malleability, transaction malleability, and also allows a lot more room in blocks for transactions. It's something that can be done with a soft fork, although a hard fork would enable even more stuff. But this sort of advance is just basically an increase in the efficiency of transaction data storage, and it sounds like this alone will double to quadruple the transaction capacity of the network with basically no downside and several side benefits. I think, who was behind it? Maxwell? Somebody.
It would not surprise me if it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah. Or maybe it was Peter Willey, but yeah, it's this segregated witness thing. So that's another sort of scaling thing that came out of the workshop. That's like just a clever rearrangement. I'm pretty sure they made a separate Merkle tree for transaction signatures. I'm not an Bitcoin expert or anything, but it sounds like this would be able to be implemented with a soft fork and would already, without increasing the block size, double to quadruple transaction throughput.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't watched the YouTube presentation. It's online actually. From Scaling Bitcoin Hong Kong. So kind of that got me kind of excited. I was like, geez, I mean, in February was when the Lightning Network presentation went online, and Joseph Poon and Thaddeus Dryja were kind of just talking excitedly about it for a little while, which is, of course, a payment network, payment channel, hub and spoke project that they had just sort of sketched out. And of course, anytime you hear something new that's real, that's just another beginning. That's just the next thing you hear, like, segregated witness, that's just going to be the base for the next innovation. Lightning Network is just one payment channel solution. Another one, I just read about another one that was published in, I believe, October, that has several advantages over the Lightning Network. So that was just the beginning of the off-blockchain scaling innovations that are to come. That got me pretty excited. How you doing, Chris?
I just made a mistake.
Oh, no.
It's all right. It's not a big deal. But because my brain is so frazzled, I just wiped over the certificate of the one I just gave out by naming it the wrong name. That's really annoying. I've got no backup because my backup disk is broken.
Yeah, I retweeted your tweet about that.
Shit. So annoyed at myself. It just means I don't have a copy of it. I'm pretty sure I didn't leave a copy anywhere else. Let me just double check in case I did. That's annoying. Well, it just means that they're the only ones that have a copy. So I wanted to timestamp it though. It would have been nice.
It reminds me of something that you said on one of the was it Bitcoin group? Maybe about a year ago, where you turned me on to the fact, before you started working on ProTip, you turned me on to the fact that with the blockchain you can you can prove that something had never happened before that block and never happened after that block either. Like that it was exactly during that 10 to 60 minute
you can
interval
lock in a
that
time
XYZ.
window. Yeah, you can lock in a time window which timestamping hasn't been able to do before, because the blockchain acts as a kind of a clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a clock, but the difference is that you don't know what the time is going to be in the future. Whereas you know there's going to be a 19th of December 3 p.m. 2015. But with the blockchain, you don't have a clue what the Merkle root is going to be at that time, right? And so by displaying knowledge and by conveying that information, you're proving that you existed. It's a bit like the equivalent of holding up the headline of a newspaper, holding up the front page of a newspaper in front of a camera to prove that this is a contemporaneous event.
Right. Or that of course that only proves that it didn't happen before then. But with the blockchain, like you pointed out,
and you can do it after at the same time. Yeah, absolutely.
That tripped me out. Like really made me realize some of the special features built into the blockchain. And then a lot of Vinay Gupta's presentations are incredible for their clarity at describing how the blockchain brought together the worlds of database and network for the first time. He works with Ethereum.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering how Ethereum as a network and as an altcoin will succeed. But as far as having a decentralized computer that's got a blockchain database, that's awesome. I love the idea of running software in a distributed fashion with a blockchain-backed system. But I feel like I'm distracting you now.
Oh no, you're not. I'm
okay. Good.
I can work whilst you're talking.
Perfect. Then I'm going to get back to my rant.
Though I may have to go to bed. I may have to go to bed in the next sort of 20 minutes or so. I'm not sure how late I can stay up.
That's perfect. For me, at least, dinner time. But what I was saying about MadeSafe earlier, I love the idea of MadeSafe because it has network elements as well. I mean, it's not only like a storage thing. It's not just a replacement for Dropbox. That's its most base level. It's actually a distributed, encrypted web, is what MadeSafe is, and I just love that concept. And really support it. And I think that's going to, that or something like it is going to push us into the real Web 2.0. People talked about Web 2.0 10 years ago because of additional capabilities built into the browser, but really that I don't really actually believe that. Once we're using mesh networks, we've decentralized the actual carrying of data on the physical substrate, and once we've moved to an entirely encrypted model where that's man-in-the-middle attack proof, and that only through the compromise of end nodes could you even do any fraud at all. And I think we're moving to that type of model, and to me that's like the real Web 2.0, is the next level where nobody can steal your stuff in transit. I'm really looking forward to that. And I don't even do anything like weird, I'm not even doing anything untoward according to the powers that be, but just the fact, maybe I'm just old, but the fact that anybody can spy on me, or that the government agents can spy on everyday conversations, that wasn't possible a few years ago, and just that lack of basic privacy is disturbing to my mindset. I don't want to have to censor myself. Even just cell phones. Obviously, the NSA can. With this thing here, I'm having a conversation with my friend in a field, and I'm admitting to him that actually I have a second head growing out of my shoulder or whatever it is. The fact that government agents can listen in on that is so disturbing to me. It's like psychological warfare in itself. It makes me wonder that if Snowden maybe was, didn't go against anybody's wishes actually, and it was an intentional leak just to increase the angst in the populace. Well, whatever. You still there, Theo?
I'm just going to grab some water, but
I am.
You're saying some great stuff, Gabriel. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's cool, Gabriel. I think I'm gonna go, guys. I'm kind of spaced.
Oh, really?
It's late.
Yeah.
It's late in Europe.
Okay, all right. I've got to go. I'm just going to make
I'm not contributing very much. But
Maybe-
I'm gonna
maybe-
have to get this. You know what? I gotta get some glasses like that. They just look so cool.
Yeah, they are cool.
I can
They're
wear
actually
them.
over glasses. You can wear them on top of other glasses, but they really help
Yeah, well,
take
then
the
I
strain
really
off the
look
screen.
like, if I do the double glasses, then I really look like a senior citizen or something. That's
Is that fluorescent, Chris? What's your light there?
Oh, there's some crappy energy saving thing that the council give you.
Man, those are really bad for your noodle.
Yeah.
They give people migraines and stuff, and
Yeah, I know. I have got some candles as well, except you wouldn't be able to see me if I had those on. Maybe I should leave the live stream on when I go to bed, and you can just see all the lights flashing as it's copying the blockchain. Maybe.
Oh, nice! You're copying a bunch at once.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, are you kidding? Like I've got like a whole grid of them.
Oh yeah. And what's the time? How long does the DD take?
Well, this is the thing. Like the one I was using was taking like 16 hours because I was writing every sector, and and it's like they're only USB 2, not USB 3, and so yeah, 16 hours. But I could run them all concurrently, and so the first one finished, and so I unplugged it, and that's worked. And Andre seems to be doing it a lot quicker. Sorry, Andy's doing it a lot quicker. I don't know how he's doing it quicker, but anyway, I've done a whole bunch now. They're stopping. They're coming to their end now because I started them this afternoon on the live stream. So I guess this unit 18 is next up for a test. So I'm just gonna quickly double check that this is running. Then I've got to move on.
All right. Well,
Yes, it's verifying blocks, so we're all good. So I'm just going to go grab some tea whilst that's verifying those blocks, and I'll be back soon. If you want to hold the fort, I don't know if you feel comfortable doing that or.
Sure. I mean, nobody else is really talking or anything, so maybe I'll just do some computing.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
mess around. All right, I'll be back in a sec.
Theo, he gone? You gone? Yeah. He fell asleep at the computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Right, so I'm just going to do unit 18, and then I'm going to stop. I'm just going to leave some memory cards copying overnight. Because it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've got to get on a train at 7:30. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to wake up on time.
You'll be able to wake up on time. You got to go to the doctor.
Yeah, I don't know though. I've been really bad, sleeping really badly.
Have you tried hitting yourself in the head with a sledgehammer, by the way?
No, funnily
No?
enough, no, I've not
Could
tried.
be. Yeah, it could be something. I don't know. You know, I'm not a medical expert, but I've tried it a lot, and I really, okay. Well, sounds like you're about to go to bed.
Well, no, I'm just going to I'm going to just update my database here. So Unit 19 is ready. Only six and number 4. What happens to number 4? Syncing, it says. Not sure.
So I'm assuming you guys already discussed Craig Wright.
Oh fuck! I mean, I don't want to talk about that. I'm so bored of these stupid link bait stories where attention whores just want attention and oh yeah, okay, unicorn syncing.
I think it's pretty crazy how the Australian government raided his home same day.
Yeah, but I mean, like I say, I don't really care much for these kinds of like Satoshi stories. You know, he is Satoshi, all that shit. I just don't think it's that important.
No, I agree it's not important to Bitcoin, but it's just awful. I mean, I can't believe they use that as an excuse. Like, oh, okay, let's just go over there and go root through his trash. It's awful.
Well, yeah, because if it's true, then he's probably tax evasion, and of course the state cares about tax evasion.
Yeah, it reminds me of the '70s movie George Lucas did before Star Wars called great movie THX 1138. Have you ever seen it?
No, but I've heard about it.
That's a great movie. What's the guy's name in it? Excellent actor. But in that one, they are being chased by the governments for drug evasion. They didn't take the drugs that everyone's supposed to take. Whatever they are prescribed by the government in order to keep them docile.
Right.
He and his, the THX and his roommate stopped taking their drugs, and then it's noticed, and the police that are surveilling everything, begin chasing them in order to arrest them for drug evasion. Mandatory drug use.
That's a different kind of drug, I take it.
Some sort of I'm assuming some sort of tranquilizer. But I mean, similar thing to tax evasion, drug evasion. Bitcoin full node evasion.
And the great thing about these full nodes is that they run Tor as standard, so your government will have no idea. Okay.
That's important for. Although France is now blocking Tor.
Oh, okay. Well, you can just use Malvad VPN then.
Yep.
They can't stop you from using a VPN.
That'd be hard.
That would be very difficult, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I was looking more into that segregated witness development, and it turns out that they're moving the signatures into their own Merkle tree that mirrors the transaction Merkle tree, but doesn't live in the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure where else it lives, but somewhere else. I'm not really sure. That's how they imagine that it will decrease the size of blocks by 50 to 66%, or something like that.
That sounds great. Yeah, I love Maxwell's stuff. He's a real dude.
It's definitely Peter Willey though that did it. Maxwell just wrote an article.
Okay.
Some of the interesting developments from scaling Bitcoin 2 in Hong Kong, and
this really makes a mockery of the other two, though, doesn't it? The other two developers, you know the ones I mean?
Oh, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Doesn't it make them look a bit silly now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Andreessen put out a blog post about how it's really good, but won't necessarily solve some of the other scaling issues with Bitcoin, which I'm sure is true. Yeah, but oh, look at this.
Yep, Unit 18 is a go.
Well done.
There we go. So we're rocking now. So it was a slow day.
That doesn't take long at all. That's like 20 minutes.
Well, no, it does because obviously the DD command is so slow. It's because I've got a whole bank of them. That's why Andy can do it quicker, because I'm just on one USB channel here, right, and it's all USB 2 devices. That's why it's taken so long.
But other than the DD, which is just waiting, the actual labor is short.
I'm also getting a weird error, so I just need to investigate that quickly. Hang on.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see what Andreessen and Hearn. I get the feeling that they might have had a visit from Men in Black at some point.
This has been speculated.
Yeah, it's definitely got that feel to it, you know, where Hearn.
Well, especially Hearn.
Yeah, Hearn is an interesting case because he's like trolled Tor and stuff. I mean, like saying stuff in Tor. So I feel like he's maybe. It's hard to say whether
someone's paying him, aren't they? You know.
Well, it's either bribery or coercion or both, right? So, there we go.
Need to work out what this error is.
Permission denied.
No, it's saying that it can't mount this device here, so I just need to work out why that is.
Let's see.
And it should be. Oh, okay. Well, that's not the right ID for the device, so that's not a good sign. That's the ID for the device.
FSTab.
FS tab, yeah. File system tab. Okay, I don't know why it's saying it's loading then. I wonder where it's put in the blockchain, in which case I better reboot that quickly. Because otherwise it's writing the blockchain to a directory that I'm not entirely sure of. That's odd. I don't know what I've done there. Hope I haven't screwed that up. Because there's a very frustrating error in Bitcoin, which is that if your chain sync is if your blockchain is out of sync, it just hangs on activating blockchain for like ever, and you don't get access to your And I had a couple of Raspberry Pis that were sat here for several days, and people reported it on the 21 so-called computer as well.
Sure.
So I wanted to avoid that. Okay, yes, we have got a problem. Okay. We are going to need to rethink this. So it looks like I'm not going to bed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw something about a commit to fix that bug for version 0.12.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's just that that's in the future.
Right.
I'll probably wait for that to come out before I do the next batch, to be honest, because it looks like it's going to have some other efficiency improvements as well.
Yep. Yeah. 0.12 has a lot of enhancements. It's so exciting to me to see all those different advancements like SegWit and stuff. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, it was excellent chatting with you. Looks like I got to go.
Okay, mate. Well, thanks very much for keeping me company here. It's been really cool.
It was really my pleasure and my honor.
Well, thank you. It's been a privilege to have you on with me. Thanks a lot for keeping me company and all your great insights yourself as well. You're not a bad presenter either. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to be on a World Crypto Network show, but it's sort of my dream to be on Bitcoin.
Well, you're on right now.
No, obviously I'm on WCN, but I'd love to be a guest on the Bitcoin show, or on the what's it called? I'm spacing here. Yeah, the Bitcoin show. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what it's called? The Bitcoin Group.
The Bitcoin Group, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The American original.
That's right.
Yeah, I've listened to all of them, of course, and when I'm listening, and because you're not there no more, as they say here in the States, you ain't there no more. So there's no one. It's not a weakness, I won't say, but there's no one presenting the big picture that's not a tech person, not a marketing person, who's just like on the sociological and cultural level. Mm-hmm. There's no one really filling that role anymore, and it's my dream to jump in and fill your big shoes with my half-size shoes and try to talk for the Chris Ellises of the world a little bit on the Bitcoin group, but I'll have to send. Thomas said I have to send him 76 Bitcoin if I want to be on the Bitcoin group once.
What a troll!
Yeah, he's bad. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start saving up. But no, like when not Shem, but when Tone is on there and stuff, talking from the trader's perspective, it's so. The opposite sometimes of things that you say or you would say, and I'm just like sitting there listening to it, going, nobody mentioned X, Y, or Z. Ah!
Yeah.
And, so it's my dream to go on there and rock the X, Y, Z. Brother, I believe in what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And make your doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Cool, definitely.
Okay, get some rest as soon as you can. Good luck with those. Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Tim. Cheers, Gabriel.
Bye, everyone on the internet.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, it's just you, me, and the terminal internet. I made a mistake. Another one. I made two so far. That's what you get when you work when you're tired and you're rushing around. Okay, I have to now get that config file back. What did I do with it? Configuration file. I'll put it in the home folder for now. So bitcoin.conf. Paste that in. Save that. Now what do I need to do? Just double check. Yep. Okay, so Bitcoin is not going to start as standard because I've commented that line out. So I'm going to reboot. Okay, it's still not mounting the disk though. I wonder
why that is. Oh, wait, okay. Now I know what I'm doing. That's a good sign. Okay, rock and roll. Okay, so this is device 18. Okay. Number right, yes. There we go. That's the serial number. Okay, that's device number 18 done. Just need to test that it works on reboot. Okay, fantastic. Looks like Unit 18 is ready to go.
Ah, yeah, the Jaffa cakes. Uh-oh. Beta invest chain. It's not a good sign. And this could have been because of a mistake that I made. Okay, let's think. Yep, this could be here for a while. Right, what am I going to do about this? Ah, fantastic. Okay, that wasn't too much of a problem then. Success! Unit 18 is a go. Okay, brilliant. That all looks good.
Okay, that's me done. I might unplug this fan so I can get some sleep. So that's making a bit of noise. Okay. Well, I'm still copying through, got quite a few of the devices lined up. I'll just have to take a picture of them and post them on Twitter because I've run out of USB ports, but I don't know if you can see it on. Oh, I can just take NSA cam down and show you there they all are copying away. So obviously that's just going through one USB channel, which is why it's taking so long, but I think the net effect is a positive one, so I'm just going to leave those copying the blockchain overnight. Let's take the lens off a little bit. And yeah, thanks very much for all your time and attention and making these full nodes in real time. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks very much for having me. And I will see you next time. Wish me luck getting up in the morning. Bye-bye for now.